Chapter 3: Why you should flip your classroom. Flipping the classroom has transformed our teaching practice. We no longer stand in front of our students and talk at them for 30 to 60 minutes at a time. This radical change has allowed us to take on a different role with our students. Flipping speaks the language of today's students. Today's students grow up with internet access, YouTube, Facebook, MySpace, and a host of other digital resources. They can typically be found doing their maths homework while texting their friends, messaging on Facebook, and listening to music all at the same time. Many of these students report that when they come to school, they have to turn off and dumb down because their schools ban cell phones, iPods, and any other digital devices. The sad thing is that most students are carrying in their pockets a more powerful computing device than the vast majority of computers in our underfunded schools, and teachers don't allow them to use it. Students understand digital learning. To them, all we are doing is speaking their language and helping them to learn. Students today are busy, and busy. Many are overprogrammed, going from one event to the next. Our students appreciate the flexibility of the flipped classroom. Because the main content is delivered via online videos, students can choose to work ahead. Students will not just learn how to work the system, they are learning valuable life lessons in managing their time. This will not work in a traditional classroom, but flipping the classroom provides a great deal of flexibility to help students with their busy lives. Flipping helps struggling students also. When we taught in the traditional manner, the students who tended to get most of our attention were the best and brightest, students who would raise their hands first and ask great questions. In the meantime, the rest of the students would passively listen to the conversation we had with the inquisitive students. But since the introduction of the flip model, our role has changed. We spend most of our class walking around, helping the students who struggle most. We think this may be the single most important reason students thrive in the flip model. This is not to say that we ignore our top students, but the majority of our attention no longer goes to them. Now it is directed to the students who need the most help. Flipping helps students of all abilities to excel. Because all the direct instruction is recorded, students with special needs can watch the videos as many times as they need to learn the material. No more frantically trying to copy down notes with the hope that they will understand them later. Instead, students can pause their teacher, rewind their teacher, and make sure they actually learn the important concepts. Flipping allows students to pause and rewind their teacher. When we flip the classroom, we give the students control of the remote. Pausing is a powerful feature for a number of reasons. We often move too fast for some students and too slowly for others. Our quick learners understand immediately and get bored waiting, while our struggling students take more time to process. When we give students the ability to pause their teachers, they have the chance to process at the speed that is appropriate for them. Giving them the ability to pause helps these students with time management. Flipping increases student-teacher interaction. Flipping allows teachers to leverage technology to increase interaction with students. Flipping the classroom creates an ideal merger of online and face-to-face instruction that is becoming known as a blended classroom. We often conduct mini lectures with groups of students who are struggling with the same content. The beauty of these mini lectures is we are delivering just-in-time instruction when the students are ready for learning. Flipping allows teachers to know their students better. We as teachers are at school not only to teach content, but also to inspire, to encourage, to listen, and to provide a vision for our students. This happens in the context of relationships. We have always believed that a good teacher builds relationships with students. Students need positive adult role models in their lives. We hope we can be such role models. We develop these relationships before we flip the classroom, but flipping allows us to build better relationships with our students. Flipping increases student-student interaction. One of the greatest benefits of flipping is that overall interaction increases, teacher to student and student to student, because the role of the teacher has changed from presenter of content to learning coach. We spend our time talking to kids. We are answering questions, working with small groups, and guiding the learning of each student individually. When students are working on an assignment and we notice that several of them are struggling with the same thing, we spontaneously organize these students into a tutorial group. Because the role of the teacher has changed to more of a tutor than a deliverer of content, we have the privilege of observing as students interact with each other. As we roam around the class, we notice the students developing their own collaborative groups. Students are helping each other learn instead of relying on the teacher as the sole disseminator of knowledge. Flipping allows for real differentiation. One of the struggles in today's schools is accommodating a vast range of abilities in each class. We have everyone from students who excel, to average students, to students who struggle with our content, to students who cannot read. Flipping the classroom showed us just how needy many of our students were and how powerful the flipped classroom is in reaching students all along this broad range of abilities. Flipping also changes the classroom management. Under a traditional model of teaching, we had students who consistently did not pay attention in class. These students were often a distraction to the rest of the class and negatively affected everybody else's learning. They were often either bored or just simply unruly. When we flipped the classroom, things changed because teachers are no longer and talking to kids. Many of the classroom management problems evaporated. Students who needed an audience no longer had one. Because class time is primarily used for students to either do hands-on activities or work in small groups, those students who were typically a distraction became a non-issue. They either did not have an audience or they were no longer bored and were willing to dive into learning. Flipping changes the way we talk to parents. We often receive questions from parents asking us how their son or daughter behaved in class. However, the question is a non-issue in a flipped classroom because students are coming with the primary focus on learning. There are two real questions now. Is each student learning? If not, what can we do to help them learn? These are much more profound questions and we discuss them with parents. We move the focus to a place that will help parents understand how their students can become better learners. Flipping educates parents. Flipping educates parents as many parents will watch the videos alongside their children and learn together. Flipping makes your class transparent. Flipping opens the doors to our classrooms and allows the public in. Videos can be posted on the internet and our students' parents and others have free access to them. Instead of wondering what their students are being exposed to in the classroom, parents can find the lessons in just a few clicks. Flipping is a great technique for absent teachers. By pre-recording lessons for the students ahead of time, students will not miss any lesson at all. They get the same lesson on the right day. Doing so also ensures that students are taught the way the teacher wants them to be taught, and he does not have to reteach on his return.